Lawmakers in Albany voted on Tuesday to postpone the impending fees on plastic bags in New York City. Now, votes from both Republicans and Democrats have delayed any fee until at least next year. Now, a fee of more than 5 cents on plastic bags was set to begin later this month as Mayor Bill de Blasio's way of reducing litter and protecting the environment. Our next guests are here to tell us how their plastic bag campaign is making sure that their neighborhood isn't affected. We welcome now Ramon Murphy, who's the president of the Bodega Association of USA, Tyson Leo, community organizer at the Black Leadership Action Coalition, and Sabine French, lead organizer for Hope for Humans United. And thank you all for joining us and sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Good morning. So when we talk about this, I'll start first with you, Tyson. A lot of people were concerned about this and feeling like if this happens, people would be adversely impacted. And of course, this delay, it's right now, it looks like a delay. Some people are saying it won't happen at all, but give us your thoughts on the decision.
So the decision is the best decision right now, and we're still fighting it because we want the city council to come up with a solid plan when it comes to both plastic bag waste and paper bag waste. So these two items are going to be charged 5 cents or more. And because it's 5 cents or more, some stores are going to charge 10 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents. There's no limit to it. And that in itself is a cavity because it's going to definitely affect a lot of poor people, working class people, working families. And we're saying to the city council, especially the sponsors of this bill, to ensure that there is more education, more recycling, and to reinforce a lot of the state policies as when it comes to plastic bags and paper bag waste.
So being as you talk about organizing and really making the public aware about what's going on, a lot of effort went into letting the city know and people in the city about it. How effective do you think that campaign was, given the fact that we're at this place right now?
I think it's pretty effective. I think it's been pretty effective. We were on the steps of City Hall, and it was a very good group, very passionate, and I think that we're successful in getting the message across. We've been on a few other media stations. We've had town hall meetings which were hosted by elected representatives. I think it's been pretty effective in getting the message out that we would like the state and the city to bag the tax.
Ramon, when we talk about you, president of the Bodega Association of USA, we talk about store owners.
Yes.
And here's something where store owners are saying, listen, even for us,
Right.
this is something that we directly oppose. Why?
It's that way. Like you say, it's good for us. But you know what happened? That's a tax for the low-income community. That we understand that's not fair. Take it just taxing to people have a low income. In that way, they don't have like ability to go into the store. Just give you one sample.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to Bodega, you can buy 20 little item. I had to give you 5, 6 bags. In a year, it's going to cost you like $200. You know what that means, $200? That's the money to you buy to school supplies for your kid. We're not supporting any tax because we understand it's not for us. It's for the consumer, and we have to be in the side for the consumer.
Let me just add to Mr. Murphy's point. Another reason why they don't want the tax is because stores like Mr. Murphy are going to be penalized harshly of up to $500 if they do not render this fee, and that's per transaction. So imagine Mr. Murphy does not give this bag tax or paper bag or plastic bag tax to the customer, and you have a DCA agent present, then he's going to get 2 fines of $500. Like, that does not make any sense. It's not user-friendly. It's not environmentally friendly.
So where do we go from here? Obviously, we know the governor talks about that he has not said whether or not he will sign or actually veto a bill. There's still some wait and see on this right here. But from your guys' perspectives, where do we go from here?
So the next steps include the following. We want residents, especially of the Bronx, to reach out to Carl Hastie's office, Speaker Hastie's office, and to tell him that we do not want this tax. We want city council members to go back and come up with a solid plan, something that would steward customers and the general public into good behavior and at the same time find a solution to this environmental crisis. Our next steps also include reaching out to senior centers, NYC developments to build this coalition, because when we first started, there was a handful of people who actually knew of this bag tax, and eventually it grew. So we want that message to spread even further across the 5 boroughs.
That's where I was going with Sabine, because I was going to ask this question about public awareness, because obviously you're an organizer, you're in charge of trying to make people aware of what was going on. When you were hitting the streets and talking to people about this, How many of New Yorkers are really aware of this possible impending tax? Because I talk to some people and they're like, what are you talking about?
What's so interesting is in the past, there were proposals of having this passed, and then it went away. So a lot of people, when I spoke with them, said, what? Are they crazy? They're still working on that? Yes, they're still working on that. And you know, as Ramon, same thing, they did the math. And they calculate, I go to the grocery store to pick up milk, to pick up any item that I'm missing, peanut butter, I go to the supermarket, and they double bag you in the supermarket. You don't have to request it. It's ridiculous. You buy a loaf of bread, and they automatically double bag you. So they're doing the calculations, and they're saying this is ridiculous. And if you're receiving food stamps, it's not included in the food stamps. So if you're going to a supermarket and the only money, well, not money, but you're only using your benefits to purchase items, well, how are you supposed to pay for the 5 cents per bag?
And when we talk about bodegas being aware, were there a lot of bodega owners who were out in the dark in this one too?
Yeah, because I want to see when you go into the bodega and you just buy $20 in little item, because we have it like a small shopping, late shopping, micro shopping, little item, and you have to put it in a bag. And I say, you know what? You purchase with food stamps, you have a cash? No. Now, how they gonna carry that food? Because I cannot give you the bag because I'm gonna penalize for $500. And the second is, they cannot buy because I'm gonna lose the customer, and the customer cannot get it to the merchandise what they want. For that reason, we are against it, because we feel that's a taxing low-income people or no-income people.
And the mayor has defended the idea. He says it's a common sense way of reducing litter and protecting the environment. What do you say to that?
Well, I disagree with the mayor, because if you remember clearly, when the mayor ran for this position, he said he's going to close that income inequality gap. And it's in direct contrast with this bill. Because if he really cared about the folks who are at the bottom of the economic and cultural contours of our city, then he would have come to our communities and asked us, hey, how do we perceive the environment and how we can solve it together with all this litter, plastic bag and paper bag litter. In addition, he has not even highlighted what model he has used to come up with this 5 cents. What justifies this 5 cents? And how certain are we sure that this 5 cents is going to, according to one of the chief sponsors, create a nudge in people's pockets? It is definitely going to affect people, especially seniors.
And in reference to Mr. Mayor de Blasio, when he ran, his whole slogan was the tale of two cities, the tale of two cities. Well, here you are now abusing the tale of two cities. He was clear in the disparity between the high income and the low income, but here you want to pass something that will,
disproportionately affect poor people.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you were saying that you're here to be the vanguard and to end the tale of two cities. And I know that there are many, I've spoken to many friends about this. I'm very vocal on social media. And I understand that there are certain places where they have passed this. That's fine. But for New York City, the majority of us are opposed to it.
Is there a compromise that you would like to see? I mean, obviously, you talk about a quick tax. I only have a couple seconds. Is there a compromise somewhere in the middle?
Of course, we've said that from day one, and both the Senate and Assembly saw it with us. We're saying more recycling, better education. Look at what's happening in the rest of the world as long as it comes to plastic bags and paper bags, and let's implement this. What this was a copy and paste approach. They saw something in LA, try to just paste it right here.
All right. Well, Tyson, Ramon, and Sabine, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Of course, we'll continue to follow the story here on Open, and stay tuned with us with there. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
listen, we need you to stay with us. Coming up next, our political commentators will hit the set talking about the president's approval ratings, the lowest of a U.S. president shortly after taking office in history. Also, we'll discuss his cabinet picks. That's coming up after this right here on Open.